Pretty much all the jobs that were around a century ago aren't around now. So in terms of overall long time scales, we've got an enormous rate of job displacement. If that were to all happen in a short period, we'd see a lot more pain. Now, if change gets even faster in the future, that's a very big disruptive world. And that's why I think people need to think about preparing for it a bit farther ahead of time.
The problem is that nobody really has an answer to these upcoming questions, how to deal with this huge transformation. And I think it's obvious that in a time like that, where everybody's a little bit insecure, that you have to grasp a little bit in the fog and find a way forward. Nevertheless, even if it's difficult, we have to do it because it's coming.
Every generation experiences a new tool set. My generation, when I started as an engineer, had a hand calculator and then the big box. The generation today will have machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data as its new tool set. So I'm hoping to understand more about the way in which we, the older generation, need to be empowering the millennials and, let's say, lifelong learners to be able to embrace these new tools and not be terrified or afraid of them.
I think we're at that early stage of we don't know the answers, but sometimes asking good questions is even more important. And so I think throughout the day, by illustrating this both with demos and text, we raise the possibility.
There were some absolutely fantastic perspectives on where to get some potential really high skilled people and how they could be put to work, and there were some really good perspectives on how to manage the transition.
I think a large ongoing conversation about how emerging technologies are actually being used is really important, alongside forecasts about how they will be used.
I mean, it's one of the greatest challenges of going forward, right? I mean, technology and jobs and work and education, and I think it's a challenge that has to be solved in an interdisciplinary manner. So you really need a diverse set of individuals and expertise. And this seemed like a perfect group of people for starting and continuing this conversation.
To be at the beginning of a new industrial revolution is already exciting enough, and then to get invited to such an important panel and in front of students, it's always very exciting.
My hope is that by showing the technology we're making, that we can especially inspire young people to find something that makes them really excited and gets them eager to pursue a career.
There are many different sectors. We have engineers, technologists, people who work in policy, people who are economists. One of the things I want to make certain of is that the voice of the educator is actually heard. When we talk about what it is that we need to do in order to be ready for 2050, we better start thinking also about what it is that we're doing from a very young age, from the start.
I think it's incredibly important that the new generations, they start thinking about how they can learn more rapidly and more faster, because the entire world is moving much, much faster. We see more innovations coming out every year, and I think it's important not just for the students, but the entire population of the world to develop a learner mindset. And I'm really excited for us to be able to provide tools that can help everyone around the world to learn faster and more effectively.